Most people think the biggest money mistake is not making enough money. But that's not the thing that actually messes people up. There's another rule. It's quieter. Most people don't even notice it. You can do everything you're supposed to do. Work hard, save a little, stay out of trouble, and still end up stressed, stuck, and low-key anxious about money. Not because you screwed up, but because you learned the most important money rule way too late. This isn't about getting rich. It's about understanding the rule that decides whether money works for you or slowly starts running your life. In the US, most of us grow up hearing the same thing. Get a stable job, buy a house when you can, save whatever's left, and retire someday. On paper, it sounds responsible. But here's the issue. That advice was built for a world that barely exists anymore. Back then, one paycheck could support a family. Healthcare didn't wipe people out. College wasn't a lifetime bill. Housing prices didn't move at warp speed. Today, everything's faster, more expensive, and way less forgiving. But most people are still playing by the old rules. Here's the rule most people learn too late. Making more money doesn't equal security. Control does. Think about money like water. Income is how fast the water comes in. Expenses are the holes in the bucket. Most people just try to pour more water. Another job, a side hustle, more overtime, but the bucket's still leaking. The system actually rewards people who control how much money they keep, how predictable their bills are, and how much time their money gives them back. The big mistake is thinking if I make more, everything will finally be fine. Sometimes that works. A lot of times it doesn't, because expenses creep up quietly. Lifestyle upgrades feel normal. Debt fills the gap without any drama. And suddenly, a higher income just means a more expensive version of the same stress. This is where the system shows its real side. All it takes is one hit. A medical bill, layoff, rent going up, a car breaking down at the worst time. People with good salaries panic, not because they were reckless, but because their money had no margin, no cushion, no room to breathe. The system doesn't crash all at once, it squeezes. Credit cards turn into emergency plans, savings get drained, future goals quietly get pushed back. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The system works best for people who don't need money that badly. Lower fixed bills, fewer commitments, more flexibility. Meanwhile, people who did everything right feel like they're getting punished for playing it safe. That's usually when it clicks. They were never taught the real rule. The damage isn't dramatic, it's slow. Putting off buying a home, putting off kids, putting off peace of mind. Money stops feeling like a tool and starts feeling like a threat. Not enough to ruin your life, just enough to control your choices. That's why so many households live paycheck to paycheck, even with decent incomes. Not because they're bad with money, but because they were taught to chase income instead of control. And no, the answer isn't living like a monk, and it's not grinding yourself into burnout. It's this. The goal isn't more money. The goal is fewer traps, lower fixed costs, more options, and time that actually belongs to you. People who learn this early don't look flashy, but they sleep better. Money stops being the boss and starts acting like a buffer. That's the rule most people learn too late. So here's the real question. If your income stopped tomorrow, how much control would you really have? And what part of this made you uncomfortable? That's usually where the truth is.